Gali, mera gali, spera gali nichta. No matter where in the world you might be, Gooner Nation, Universe family, welcome to another live edition of the Highbury Squad. It's a late edition of Monday Madness. Guess who has made it to the next round of the FA Cup? Bop, 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 bop.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Dominant. Brilliant. In the second half, anyway. We'll get to that. Joining me once again live here at Squad Central is my podcast brother from another mother, rocking his Highbury Squad long sleeve tee, Mr. Super Kevin Campbell. Oh.
Squaddies, good to see you. Late one. Sophie with the Highbury Squad hat, which I'm still waiting for. At ease, Squaddies. At ease.
Kev, so you know what's really funny is you probably can't tell on the show, but I'm wearing a velour hoodie and Tony hates it. She's like, that's so 90s. I go, listen, I'm bringing the Puff Daddy. It's not P. Diddy. I'm bringing the Puff Daddy back. Is there any way velour can come back?
It's
if
already,
the shell
it
suit
never
can
went.
come back.
It never went.
I think, yeah.
It never
right?
went. Don't worry about that. It never left.
Yeah. Velour. You can't go wrong with velour.
Quality.
Yeah.
Quality.
Although I do wish I got the black Highbury Squad. Anyway, as you guys know, look at Kev rocking that. Let's see. Kev, you annoy me, to be quite frank, Super Kevin Campbell. Do you know why?
I know. I annoy a lot of people.
No. You're saying, which I want to make into a t-shirt, black don't crack. Seriously, every time you get younger and now you're rocking your Highbury Squad sweatshirt. Seriously, you're kind of annoying. You're too handsome. I have to push you to the side and deal with this.
Well, I'm deluded as well. Don't worry about that. So you haven't got to worry about me. You haven't got to worry about me. I'm the deluded, what is it, Arteta's lawyer?
Yes,
Remember?
you are Arteta's lawyer.
Yeah.
Matty K says, that's nuts, that top, Kev. Order it, really Matty good. K. Look really how cool good. It looks. Look at that.
Really good. Really good.
Come on now.
Fits well.
You could be in the team this weekend, Marcus. Well said. I like the black and white look, Sophie. Thank you. Trying to rock the velour, the hat, trying to, you know, mesh with the generation Z's. I don't know what they're called.
You mix it up.
Mix it up.
You mix it up. Good.
So let's say hi to usual Suraj. Too handsome. This means his handsomeness is a problem.
Of course it is, Suraj. Always a problem,
says,
mate.
It's the power of water. And he also says, I like the black and white look. Okay, that's fine. You don't annoy us. And he never does. He just annoys me because he looks too young. All the time. Even Warren Barton says it. Everyone, Jason Cundy, everyone who's been on this show is like, does this guy ever age? No, he doesn't. Chief Like Officer.
Call it the power of the water, Soph.
Oh, I need to stop drinking this then, huh, Kev?
No.
Is that my problem?
Nothing wrong with a coffee or whatever, but you've got to mix it with the water.
Maybe Vinny's mug. I should be mixing it with the water. Guess what? Okay, so let's say hi to Chief Like Officer in the house. We got, hey, Stephen Foote, how are you? The man who coined the phrase squaddies. Always good to see you back in the house. Sir, beautiful. Everyone's here, Kev. We've got Trev. We've got Hudson.
I've got a question for Newman. Did you get it, Newman?
Look, there it is.
There you go. Oh, you got it. Thank you. And you didn't
even though you didn't give us our real name.
The name. You didn't even give your name, so I just sent it to Newman. He could have gone to Gary Newman for all I knew. I'm glad you got it, mate. Well done. We need a picture with you with the book.
Anyone who got the book and the coin over the holidays, you've got to send us a picture so we can put it in the Highbury Squad Hall of Fame. That is the rule.
Definitely. That's
all right.
the rule.
So Newman, we need a picture of you with the book to show the squaddies on the next show that Super Kev is on. Period. That is that.
As for housekeeping, Soph.
Yes, sir.
What's his
Oh, Marcello.
Marcello, when you listen to this, if you're not listening now, they tried to deliver your book and I don't know what happened, but they're going to be trying to deliver it again. So just look out for it or get somebody to look out for it.
Lovely. Well done. Look at Arnie. My book is still in the VAR room. Arnie, keep at it. Next time, it could be you. That's all we're saying. You know? Just saying.
Listen, I'm feeling in a generous mood, Arnie. Pick a number between 1 and 5.
Everyone.
Just Arnie.
Oh, just Arnie. Okay.
Pick a number between 1 and 5, and I'm gonna write something down.
And I'm going to keep my mouth shut this time, Kev.
No, well, you're not getting asked. You're trouble, you. Come on, Arnie. Stick your number down, and I'll turn my paper over. It's Arnie. All right, you got to have a go.
Look at them. They're all in it.
But it's just for you, Arnie. 4.
Shut. No way.
Odd. I picked odd. So if you got odd, Arnie, you would have got it.
Little bit like that Gabriel miss in the Newcastle game at home.
Oh,
close,
Arnie.
but not close enough.
Arnie.
Try again. Maybe Super Kev will be feeling it at the end of the show and he does the same thing.
He's got 1 chance. I can't give him 2 chances. There's only, if I go odd now, there's only 1 even left and he'll get it.
Eddie gets multiple chances. Tonight he buried them.
Striker. This is a giveaway. And these squaddies are costing me a bleeding fortune.
By the way, everyone, so you know, Kev's paying for all these books he's sending out of his own volition. We love him. He's the best ever. This is why we love him.
Thanks, Sophie. So yeah, all right, Arnie. Here we go. You've got to choose a number between 8, 9, or 10. If you get it right, if you get it wrong, you get a book. You got to choose one number. If you get it wrong, you get a book. Come on, then. Choose one. I'll write my one down.
Are you writing it down, Kev? Kev's writing it down right now. Come on, Arnie. Come on.
If you get it wrong,
come, baby, come.
You
baby,
win. If you get it right, that's it. You get no. Come on,
Arnie. Let's see you. Where is Arnie right now? Hold on. Oh, yeah. By the way, has anyone seen? A man, of course. Okay, here we go, Kev. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I hope this is right.
Arnie, you done it. I'll put 8 down. You got enough. The things I do for you, squaddies. Arnie, email your address to Sophie at thehighburysquad.com.
HighburySquad@gmail.com.
And I'll get you your book.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely brilliant.
For about 6 years.
What a great way to. No, it's not a fix. How can it be a fix? He's writing it down and Arnie's saying the number. Come on, Yanto. Don't be a hater. You're welcome, Arnie. Brilliant. Yeah. Arnie is a legend, by the way. You know, sent his picture of his son and everything.
Him and his son together. That was lovely.
Yeah, so good.
Well, I made him work for it, Soph, didn't I? I made him
You did. Listen, you made him work for it, and the Arsenal had to work for it tonight, didn't they, Kev, in the FA Cup?
Soph, I tell you what. Wasn't this a typical cup tie, Soph?
It was. Tell me, Kev.
To start off with, Soph, we expect Arsenal to wipe the floor with this Oxford team, right? They're lowly League One and all that, struggling in the league a little bit. And then you know what happens? They come out with spirit. They press us, put us under a lot of pressure. And our passing in the first half, let's be honest, was absolutely diabolical. It was really poor. Second half, we didn't start much better. Matt Martinelli had a run and all that. But you see the game change. Obviously, Vieira with that ball in, fantastic. But the game changed when Zinchenko and Xhaka comes on. What do? We start getting control of that ball, and we control the tempo, and we start passing it better. As soon as we start passing it better, we cut them open. And I hope Saka's okay too, Demsek. But
yeah, so apparently the squaddies are reporting that Arteta is saying that Saka is just fine.
Good. That's brilliant news. And we've got a good few days to wrap him up in cotton wool, just to keep him ticking over till the derby. So, look, Zinchenko, I'm telling you guys, he is so good for this team. And Kieran Tierney didn't have too bad a game. I thought it was all right. I thought the defense was the one that was keeping us really in it. But you see, when Zinchenko and Xhaka comes on, we just start to dominate the ball. And as soon as we dominate the ball, we get opportunities. So I thought, in the end, it was a decent performance. First half was easily forgettable. So easily forgettable.
It was, because I wrote to Kev, by the way, James Johnston, one of our favourites in the house, super Kev, super Kev, super Kev, Kevin
Waterstone.
I love that. And Demsek was saying this is more exciting than the game itself. So I wrote to Kevin, I said, that was a terrible first half. And Kev said, you're being very polite.
You're being very
and then
kind.
Kev wrote to me and he said, look, beyond our 11, you know, it's gonna be tough. Pray for no injuries. And Kev, evident again, right?
Big question, Soph. You're right. It's a big question for you. Listen, do you know one thing I will say, Sophie? Mikel Arteta does know that we need bodies. He does know that we need bodies. The problem is, Soph, getting the quality bodies in. Now, MUDRYK wants to come. They're going to have to work something out with that fee. Apparently, JOÁO FELIX, Chelsea have met the loan fee, etc. So, listen, you're always going to get that type of thing where opposition clubs can come in. Chelsea needs snookers at the moment, don't they? Let's be honest. They've been terrible.
I went in a bit two-footed studs up on them on Sky Sports this morning, Kev.
Well, you know what, Soph? They've been brutal to us in the past.
They
fan
have.
base. So,
Mocked
you know
us.
what? At the end of the day, have some of that. Have it. Jags has already won 10 books, Mark, so don't worry about that. But so seriously, we do need upgrade. We do need upgrade.
Is this true? MUDRYK is a Jags? No, is this our Jags or is this another Jags? I don't know about this.
I've not heard that, Soph.
I've not heard that. No. All right, Kev. So let's get stuck in here a little bit because we'll talk about the game, but there's other things I want to talk to you about tonight because this is going to be the only opportunity we get, Kev, this week. I am literally the reason why I'm dressed like this. When this show finishes, me and my girl Delmi, we're going to get in the car and we're driving up to San Jose for MLS Media Week to talk to ex-Arsenal boy Carlos Vela and Chicharito and a whole bunch of other folks. So watch out for the agenda tomorrow. Our show will be Mike's show with Peter Drury and Lee Dixon for all the great things that he's doing. So look out for that as well. Super Kev will be, I will let you know, Super Kev will be on stuff this week. So we'll let you know of that. And I'll post my Sky Sports stuff that I did this morning.
There's a Dickie Bowl Thursday, 10 till 12 on Sky.
Nice, Kev.
Yeah, on Thursday. So watch out for that one. I
wonder what colour your Dickie Bow is going to be. You decided yet?
It's Monday. I don't decide on Mondays.
We're getting some love from Berlin. Right, here we go. Kev, FA Cup, very important to the Arsenal. We're the winningest team of the FA Cup. Look what I found today. I wanted, before we got stuck into the play ratings and talking about the game and facing Manchester City in the next round, because we've got to play them 3 times now, Kev. Un, deux,
Fantastic.
trois. Ena the Odria. Super Kev is up for this, and he will tell you why. But this, look at you chasing righty here, Kev. Take our listeners beyond the white lines.
It's a goal, the FA Cup. Sophie, it's a goal in a cup final. We take them behind. It's a cup final goal. I mean, my God, you know, these are the special moments, Soph. These are the special moments where you dream about as a kid. Listen, as an Arsenal fan, to be in a cup final with Arsenal is one thing, and then to be involved in a winning team, that's special. That is so special. That was, I think that was the equaliser, wasn't it? They took the lead, right? He equalised, and then Stephen Morrow come up with the winner. Or was that?
No, Linegan.
Sorry, no, that was the.
This was the first, because we had to replay. So there was the first game. Was this the equaliser? Yeah, this was the equaliser. Yeah,
we drew that game, didn't we? And then we went for the night game in the week. Yeah. So
yes, and we played them twice that year.
Well, we played them in the Coca-Cola Cup.
Yep.
And then we played them twice in the FA Cup final.
Yep.
And don't forget, Sophie, you know how greedy I am. We don't play them once, not just one FA Cup final. We had to have 2 FA Cup finals. 2 to get the job done. Hey, not many people could say they played in 2 FA Cup finals in a space of, 5 days? So
no,
even better.
And
even
Kev,
better.
People like there are folks out there, 200 plus of you on a Monday night. Thanks for joining us. There are people out there that want to take away our FA Cup stuff, Kev. You've played in the final, you've won it, righty you. That season, amazing. Sheffield Wednesday. By the way, Sheffield Wednesday that season for us.
They were good side. Remember John Arks?
We had him on the show.
Anderson Viv Anderson, the tight get. He was in that team.
Didn't pay you properly for polishing his boots.
Tight as anything. He didn't pay me properly. He kept saying I didn't do. They were dubbing nicely. They were perfect. Charlie Nicholas was my man. He paid me nice. Even George Graham passed over the bread. But Viv Anderson kept saying I owe him money. Yeah, cheeky bug. He still says it to this day, Soph, I'm telling you.
I love that you have this story with Viv Anderson because of Arsenal and Forest. It's beautiful. I love it.
You know, every time I see him, I keep saying to him, are you going to pay me for them boots? He's going to say, hey, you owe me.
What a tight one, man.
Good fun, though. You know, good
so
fun.
Good.
Oh, man.
Oh, so good. Oh, Don One, you've missed it all. We've talked about we've given books away. We've talked about this moment, which is just so special.
FA Cup, how special it is. And you know what? So we're the most winningest team, right? And we've actually chucked it away the last couple of years, haven't we? Let's be honest.
Yeah, we have. We have
the last couple of years. But you know what, Soph? I was starting to think after that first half, is it this kit? I'll be honest with you.
Me too.
Is it
I didn't want to say anything because
is it this kit that's messing us about? But
because the message is amazing of the kit.
Oh,
look at them all. I love them. Look at this.
It is a special effort. It's an effort by the club to go out there and put their name to this. I think it's special. The meaning to it is incredible. But we haven't played well for 3 halves in it. We played well second half, a lot better, and we blew Oxford away, let's be honest. Eddie's finishing, by the way, was very good.
Okay, so we're going to get to that because I want to talk about him. Evening to all of you. Thanks, everyone. Everyone reminiscing as well, Kev, about that time and that season, which was really super special. Just before I get stuck into the game, I always, even as a young girl, I tried out for Arsenal ladies. I was before the Messi era, too short, too slight, not enough muscle, none of it worked. Although I just want to say I'm a really good midfielder and I can make a sweeping pass, a little bit like maybe Santi. I'm just saying. Right, I'll hold it there. Kev, South London boy, growing up, you end up at the Arsenal with your mates. You got Pops, you got Rocky, you got Righty then comes after.
Yeah,
right?
Brighty comes after. You got Mickey Thomas.
You got Mickey Thomas.
Yeah, David
this moment when you're chasing this insane fellow right here, just I know, like we've talked about it before, but in these moments with these games, when I get you on the post game show, we've all dreamed of scoring the FA Cup winning goal in our backyard with our mates in our neighbourhood on the streets. South London boy, growing up dreaming of it. It's just the
I've
FA
always
Cup
dreamt of
is
winning
so
it.
special.
Do you know, winning it, Soph? Winning it. Yeah, dreaming of, when you go out and play and you score the winning goal in a World Cup and all that, that's fine. But, I always dreamt of winning it. I always dreamt of walking up them stairs, Soph, as a winner. Going up, being on the platform where the cup's lifted and all your teammates are there. That's what I always dreamt of. I always dreamt of winning trophies. So to be able to do it with brothers in arms, a lot of brothers, South London brothers, Arsenal family, a lot of brothers there, brothers from other mothers, but we were one. We were one.
Amazing.
We were one.
Yeah.
And we had that desire. I'll tell you one thing. We had that desire to win. Because whenever we lost, that team I was involved with lost one final, which I couldn't play in, which was the...
That's why they lost. Which final? Tell them which, Kev, the final.
Was it the UEFA? Was it the Cup Winners' Cup?
Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah, was it Zaragoza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about that.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's the only final I say we lost.
Painful, right?
Yeah. I mean, I remember being in the stand and watching it, and I was like, oof. Obviously the 88 one against Luton, I wasn't really part of that squad. So I really came in 80. I made my debut 88, end of the season, and stuff like that. So from that part on, that last game of the season, that's when I felt real part of it. So
Matty K was in a pub in Clapham and he cried. It was the worst. Oh, God. It was just the worst. Anyway, we move on, Kev. Here we are. So what do you think about this guy tonight?
So I'll be honest with you. First off, Arsenal just couldn't get their passing together. The touch seemed to be off. A 5-yard pass seemed to be like a difficult 40-yard pass for us. We kept getting things wrong. Eddie kept going too deep, I believe, wasn't playing on the shoulder, probably trying to get a touch of the ball, if I'm honest with you. But, as soon as we start to dominate the ball, we start to play smart. And here's the other thing, Soph. This is where you start to see Vieira play that 10 role. And let me just tell you something, everyone. That ball to Eddie Nketiah for Eddie's, his first goal.
Yeah.
First goal. Watch the defender. The ball turns the defender around because Eddie's in and you think he's going to pass him the ball there, but he cuts it back inside the centre half. So Eddie could just go that way and get round the keeper. I'm telling you, if we could get this guy on the ball in those positions, superb. But, Soph, you saw first half, he didn't like the rough stuff. He didn't like it physical.
What do you think of that, Kev? Like, talk me through that a little bit as a striker when you're playing against a defense.
I'm not talking about Eddie.
Strength.
I'm talking about Vieira.
Vieira, yeah. So
Vieira is only slight.
The creative role. Sorry, I meant. Yeah.
He's got to get. For me, he's got to get used to the contact, because when you play abroad, if you have too much contact, the referee's blowing. In England, you could see the referee, because it's the FA Cup, he was letting things go, letting things ride. And probably that's why Mikel Arteta kept him on the bench against Newcastle. I know people say it's the last 10 minutes and people are tired, but Newcastle are one of those sides of physical. And if you can't live with them physically, you can't carry anybody, Soph. That's one thing you can't do. Arsenal cannot carry anybody. We stuck with Newcastle and bettered Newcastle with the first 11. So that's probably why we didn't change it much. Brought Tomiyasu on, who's physically imposing as well, which is fine. But we didn't make much change. That's why.
Kev, is Vieira the perfect example of a player? Because Archangel is talking about he needs meat and pasta, but also there's a lot of comments in the live chat from a lot of Gunners who were talking about the substitution change. Once Lokonga went off, you saw you guys. Kev texted me this. And he supports all Arsenal players, but he also recognizes that when you make a change, sometimes good comes from that. Lokonga, for me, was the weakest link tonight, and then you saw the best of Vieira when the more senior players like Xhaka and Zinchenko came on.
Yeah, the quality.
Talk us through that a little bit, Kev.
Well, I'll talk about the quality that came on first, which was so evident to how we played. You saw Granit Xhaka get right stuck in, chasing people into the corner. Never saw Lokonga do that. Granit Xhaka wins the ball back, keeps us playing. Zinchenko with his passing. He got on the ball, first thing, knocked one right over the top. All of a sudden, Oxford have to go back. He gives us more room to play in midfield. That's the way it works. If you turn the team start going deeper, you get more room to play, and then we start taking control of the game. And funny enough, Vieira starts picking the ball up in space. Whereas, and this is no disrespect to Kieran Tierney and no respect to Lokonga. Disrespect, because they're trying. But you know what, Sophie? You get an opportunity against Oxford, you've got to take it. And Kieran Tierney done all right, so I'm not saying here, but Lokonga, he wants to stake a claim. He looked way off it. He did. He looked way off it. And Tammy, you're right. He didn't look good enough tonight. He didn't. He didn't look good enough. So, you bring on Xhaka, who's strong in that midfield. You bring on Zinchenko, who is a master of keeping the ball and technically so gifted. And it changes the game. We end up 3-0. We end up 3-0 winners. And it looks like easy work. Yeah, it's a professional performance second half, and it looks easy. But if we don't bring them on, Sophie, I'm telling you, we struggle.
Yeah. Kev, what do you think about, I don't want to single out Lokonga, but he's been crying out at international level and talking about his, will to want to play and being given opportunities. And of course, with the Arsenal, he's been given opportunities, and some fans are like, oh, but he doesn't play. But he's been given opportunities and he hasn't taken them. And I think, as a player, can you explain to me, like, how many chances do you need to show that you've taken those chances, Kev?
How many chances do you need?
You
need one chance. No, Soph, listen. You've seen what the first team are doing. Mm-hmm. You are not going to get a lot of chances. You're not going to get a lot of opportunities. So when you do get the opportunity to start, you better take it. You better be ready. You better be able to protect the back four, and you better be able to affect the game. He didn't affect no game tonight. And again, I think he's got talent. But for this Arsenal team, when you look at who's on the bench, and then you see him in there, he's not taking his chances, Soph. And this was a big chance for him tonight.
It was. Can you talk me through as well? Marcus is saying, I think Lokonga needs a run of games.
He was not going to get it, Marcus.
No, but this is the point.
But Soph, he's not going to get it. So he might get a game here or there to prove that he can do the business, because he's not going to start ahead of Partey or Xhaka or Odegaard in the league. So he might get a cup game here or there. So for the manager to trust you to put you in, you've got to start taking these opportunities. So if anything happens in the first team, Sambi's ready. Sambi's not ready. He had to affect the game, he had to take Sambi off.
Right. And I agree here. Sambi's a puzzle. Clearly is a technical ability, but has zero impact on the game. And the kid responding to like the bashing. No, we get it. Like, we want him to succeed. Trust us. Like, here, we want every Arsenal player to succeed.
Listen, the kid, let me just say this to you. We want Arsenal to win everything. We want the team to always play well, and we want anybody who comes in and plays in the Arsenal first team, starts or comes off the bench, we want them to do fantastically well, because you know what? We need everybody. Trust me, we need everybody to be at a high level. But the eye test says we are not at that high level from our bench. So when our bench players come in today, we are not at a high level.
So reiterating what you're saying, no, none of these fringe players who play today will get a start the rest of the season, apart from possibly Turner telling you now the drop-off is just too high, sadly, which is why... Yeah.
Turner was excellent tonight.
His confidence has grown, hasn't it, Kev?
He was... do you know, there was that... Was it in the first half? Second half, where the lad got in.
Yep.
And he came out and just smothered it.
Nice, I love that. It seemed like he wasn't going to get there, Kev, didn't it?
Yes.
But he did.
And he stood his ground and he just dealt with it. Nice and professional. No panic in him. Listen, I like him. I like him.
So a lot of comments. Nice, no frills, no spills. And at that moment, he didn't have a lot to do. He was ready for the ball and it came to him. He didn't make any, like, we've seen goalkeepers this season make mistakes.
His distribution as well was very good. His feet were very good as well. Fair play to him. Well done.
I think his confidence since the World Cup has grown tenfold. You know, I've always been a fan of his. And I think that as a backup goalkeeper, I feel pretty confident, you know, if God forbid something happened to Ramsdale, who's been a bit dodgy in 2 of the last 3 or 4 games.
He's had his moments,
yeah, that's what you want, right? Kev, a lot of stuff coming in for you for this fella. Another one who hasn't really been part of the starting 11, but still, you and I have talked about him maybe being fundamentally important with Zinchenko kind of coming off an injury or whatever. But being able to step in, a lot of our squaddies here don't feel like he had an impact either on the game.
No, I think Kieran Tierney had a decent game. It wasn't great and it wasn't terrible. I thought he had a decent game down the left. He didn't really make any mistakes, Soph, but he didn't influence the game the way we know he could. But that's sometimes, Soph, as well, because of the level now that Zinchenko is playing at. You look when Zinchenko comes on, and all of a sudden, we click. Why? Because we dominate the ball. He dominates the ball. He's technically so gifted. So Kieran Tierney isn't that type. Kieran Tierney is your typical left back. He'll get it and he'll move up and down. Sometimes, he can be asked to do that, and he can do it, but nowhere near as good as what Zinchenko does, because he's a really good midfielder.
So, Kev, I want you to explain to me a little bit more about that, because when we were talking on WhatsApp, when Zinchenko came in, you're like, and you've been this way every time you've seen him play this season. what he brings to the table and the difference. And as much as Tierney has been working with Arteta on molding him into this inverted role, it might be that in the summer, Arteta looks for a different option for a player who naturally can play that inverted role. Tell the squaddies exactly like what you see as a player, as a teammate with Zinchenko.
Well, I think Zinchenko does everything automatic. That's what he's brought up on. He's brought up on being an extra midfielder, moving from fullback in to be able to play that role. And because he's a midfielder by trade, Soph, he finds it comfortable in there. He finds it really comfortable in there to be able to get the ball with people around him and maneuver it. He's very good at that. Keep the ball. And you see, we start to dominate the ball, Soph. That's the difference. We don't just play, we dominate the ball. And what does that do? That makes life difficult for the opposition because they can't get a touch of it. And all of a sudden, our passing patterns start to come in. Eddie starts to do his movement. Vieira starts to find space. Martinelli comes alive. Saka comes alive. And all of a sudden, we're a threat and the opposition are sitting in their own box and they can't get out. Whereas first half, Oxford could play through us. They could come and attack us. They can do virtually what they wanted up until they met our resistance at the back. That's not good enough, Soph. You know, the standard is so high now. This is what Zinchenko brings. He brings that calm dominance of keeping the football and keeping it moving. That's what Arteta wants. That's what Zinchenko does like clockwork.
Do you think Stephen's right? Is Tierney no longer suited to the way we play, Kev? Is there too much education or progression needed? Whereas the Arsenal are now in the moment and the now, like instant gratification type
I think
of stuff?
sometimes it depends. I think sometimes it depends who we play. So if I'm honest with you, I think there's going to be times where Kieran Tierney is preferred at left back. If I'm honest with you, I think some of those Europa League games, Kieran Tierney could be starting. But I think for the league, especially for the league, I think for the domination that we want to have with the ball, I think Zinchenko is the preferred player. Just because of what it does with Xhaka as well. Because it's not just Zinchenko being left back and moving into midfield. It's what it does. We saw it with Jesus. When Jesus was there, Jesus was pulling wide. Martinelli was moving in and Xhaka was moving up. And Xhaka didn't have to look behind him because he knew Zinchenko was sat there. Comfortable and could pass and play. Whereas if Kieran Tierney likes to bomb up and down, being told, no, we want you in the midfield, kind of goes against his game. So, listen, he might be surplus to requirements at the end of the season. Let's see. But I still think he's definitely got a part to play from this point to the end of the season.
Kev, what do you say to fans like Peter and there's a few that have sent a message about this?
Zinny doesn't defend. Well, of course he defends. But you know what, Peter? If you keep the ball, why do you have to defend? If you keep the ball and the opposition have to defend deep, when you give the ball away, most of the time you're winning the ball back before they even get into a position to attack you. That's why Mikel Arteta wants to dominate the ball. Holding and Gabriel, by the way,
yeah.
Matty K.
Okay,
Holding
so
and
Matty
Gabriel
K,
were outstanding.
He said that Holding scares him to death.
I thought they were fine today.
Yeah.
I thought Holding and Gabriel were fine today. They did.
I wasn't worried.
I thought they were fine today. Listen, I know Holding isn't Saliba. I know that, but I didn't feel panicked in any way with those two centre halves today. I didn't.
I wasn't worried about that at all. I wanted to find this just to kind of circle back on the Zinni thing. Someone just wrote, Kev, would you play Zinchenko in the 8 and then go get another left back? Like, we're looking at these options in the transfer window, and clearly we know he's kind of like this hybrid player who plays a role that he did at City and, of course, now here. Would you shift him more there and just replace Tierney if Tierney wants to move on, bring in another? No,
no, I wouldn't. I still think we need
Avon. That was
we need more firepower, and Zinchenko's a quality player, but I don't think he scores the goals that we need. If we're going to go for a player, we need a player who's going to play in that Xhaka role, who can get us 10 goals. And Xhaka's been unbelievable this season. But if we're looking to upgrade the squad that is Soph, we need a player in there who can score us 10 goals.
Like ESR did last season, Kev.
Yeah,
10
because
goals,
you know
coming
what?
off the bench was
Yeah,
starting.
well, we've got to be able to mix. I tell you why. When we played Newcastle, our midfield was the key. Because they knew we can double Martinelli. We've got 2 centre halves on Eddie, and we can double Saka. The ones who were kind of getting in, and you saw Xhaka get into a couple of really good spots in that box a couple of times, unmarked. But either his feet weren't quick enough, or we couldn't get him good enough ball. So again, if we're going to upgrade in a position, it's that midfield, because that's what your Man Cities do. Your Man City midfielders will pop up. Gundogan popped up with 20 goals from centre midfield. Yep. Or Sterling from wide scores 20 odd goals. Sane at the time scored double figures. Mahrez gets his goal.
Yep.
But Silva will get his goals. Rodri will chip in a couple of times. Foden will get his goal. De Bruyne will. So when you're clamped at the top end of the pitch, it's your midfielders that make the difference. Your midfielders have to go and score, and that's what we're just not quite there yet.
Okay, so with that said, and with me just touching on, and I talked about it on Sky Sports News this morning because they asked about Emile Smith-Rowe. This moment was special. It was beautiful. We love this guy. He became a super sub last season, Kev. 10 goals. He and Saka, the previous 2 seasons, just kept the Arsenal bubble and the love flowing and growing. How beautiful was it to see him back, and how much do we want him to be fit? Because he can be exactly what you just talked about. Those goals coming from midfield and the option that we have with him coming off the bench or even starting as we go for the rest of the season.
It was great to see him. Great to see him back on the pitch. It's been a long time coming, Soph.
Yeah, so missed him, right?
And you actually, as the longer, he only got, 16 minutes or whatever. But as the game wore on, you see he got one chance. You see he got into the box. Yeah. And his shot got deflected. It was going in. So, Sophie, this is a young man who knows where to go, and he knows how to get opportunities in the box. That's natural for him, Soph. It's natural for him. He just goes and he finds himself in the space, and the ball comes to him. One, he can finish. That's another good thing. Of course, he's going to be a little bit rusty to start with. We understand that. But when it's the first team playing and he's on the bench and then he's coming on with the big boys, his quality we might have to rely on at maybe 1 or 2 games this season, and that could make the difference for us.
Because everyone's talking about the January transfer window, and we'll get to that because that's the next subject that we're going to just touch on real quick with Super Kev here on the Highbury Squad post-game FA Cup show. Plus 300 of you in live chat. Hit it, lick it, like it, nut it, butt it. You know the rules. And Tammy, our chief like officer, will let us know exactly how many likes we have. But little Vinny's in the house, old school, without the bow tie tonight, because we save that for Thursdays sometimes. And if you don't, this is going to happen. All right? And then if that doesn't happen, it'll just all be over with that.
Yeah, the head's coming off. You know that.
So Kev, wow, what was I talking about? I just got carried away with.
So you were on about Smith Rowe before, and
so
relying on him.
Yeah, so we're so engrossed in the January transfer window, and you and I have talked about the most important signings are re-sign Saliba, re-sign Saka, re-sign Martinelli. But of course, as we know, in order to kind of maybe close this deal in the Premier League and maybe win the FA Cup or the Europa League, we're going to need reinforcements. Newcastle, an example. Tonight, another example. We've got to rely on those first-team players coming on like Xhaka and Zinny to have an impact and an effect on the game. Emile Smith Rowe, I do think, he's just coming back. We sometimes expect miracles, a little bit maybe of the forgotten man, but he's going to have an impact. But also, just to kind of swift into the transfer market, we need reinforcements. Kev, is this another example of a game where we've got to strengthen this month?
Yeah, it is. It is because realistically, Soph, you don't want to have to keep bringing on Zinchenko and Xhaka. You want them to have an eye off. But we're having to bring them on to change the game. And really, we should have enough talent out there to sort Oxford out. But we struggled big time. It's attacking-wise especially, to get anything going until these two guys come on. So, yes, we do need reinforcements. We do need quality. I know it's difficult. I do know that. I know it's difficult. Obviously, the Mykhailo Mudryk signing, he wants to come. We want it done. At the end of the day, he's not going to be quite right to start with anyway, because it's off-season for him, isn't it? So, he's going to have to train and get himself up to speed. So, again, what do you do? But I still think we need 3 players, Soph. I know, like I said, Chelsea, I think Chelsea have met the loan fee for JOão Felix. Yeah, JOão Felix. So, listen, whatever. But we do need bodies.
Yeah. So Tom Canton did a show with a La Liga commentator, one of the voices of the English, I think he's the English commentator for La Liga. And I was talking to Tom this morning on a message exchange, and he said, after that show, I feel less stress about missing out on Felix. This guy broke it down. Go to Tom's channel and watch that show, you guys. Kev, sometimes we get caught up in the name versus what they offer to the club. I think Mikel's proved when he signed Benjamin White, when he signed Ramsdale, Tomiyasu. What? Who? It's not about the name on the back of the shirt. It's about fitting into a system. Talk me through that a little bit, Kev, because I think that's what we've got to be careful of a little bit going into this last final act of the season.
Yeah, look, I think fans and us Arsenal fans, it's still a bit of fantasy and dream to have a JOão Felix or whatever coming in, being linked with your club. It's nice. It's fantasy. But one thing Mikel Arteta and Edu and the backroom team have done, they don't just look at the name. They look at, 1, do you fit? And 2, are you good? Are you an upgrade on our playing staff? So if you're one of the 2, they are not going to go for you. They are not going to go for you. You need to be an upgrade and a fit. Because last January, Soph, we were going crazy, weren't we? We were not bringing anybody in. It could cost us. Did cost us in the end, although it was in our hands and we fluffed it. We duffed it in. But the stakes are a lot higher now, Soph. We're talking about the Arsenal going for a title win. a title challenge here. We are in a title challenge. Yeah, we are at the front and we've kicked and City have responded. So what are we going to do? Are we just going to wait and see how we go with this squad when realistically we know it's not strong enough?
Yeah. I still feel like Kev, and I was kind of excited by the idea of him. I thought that if Arteta felt he was the right guy, why not support him and give him the funds if that's what the manager and I do think is right. And at the same time, you and I have also talked about the value of Premier League proven players, whether that's a Tielemans or a Zaha. And we're like the MUDRYK thing is still kind of continuing on. He's the player that wants to join Arsenal. The club want money. As a player, what does that mean? When you want to join a club, but the club want the money, what does that mean, Kev?
Frustration for the player. Because you just want it done. But that's the part of the business, Soph, that is out of your hands. It's totally out of your hands. And it's between the two clubs to negotiate a fee, a price. And if they agree, because I believe personal terms has already been that's the easy part. The personal terms is the easy part. The key to it all is, and this is what I said last January, it's all very well saying we want this one, that one. The two clubs have to agree. And you know what? Clubs are difficult because they know they can get big money. Mm-hmm. So will they bite their nose to spite their face? Probably not, but they can drag it out, Soph, which is what we don't really want. But do you reckon they don't know that? They know that. They're buzzing at Chelsea. Oh, the transfer guru of Shakhtar was at Stamford Bridge and talking to Todd Bowley and keep us abreast. And if there's a deal on the table, everybody knows that MUDRYK wants to come to Arsenal. But Shakhtar are playing the game. He's signed to them. He's their player. They're playing the game, Soph. Unfortunately, it's one of them things.
I don't have a problem with paying 88 million if the club and the manager, who I've criticised and I questioned, but they've proven he and they do that they've made some astute signings. If they think that MUDRYK is worth 88 million, and Kev, if he comes in and scores 5 goals and helps propel us in those 5 goals, they're the difference
5 goals,
in
3 assists.
5 games.
5 goals, 3 assists.
It's worth every cent, is it not? You're getting your ROI, your return on investment.
But here's the other thing, though, Soph. The type of player that you're getting isn't just, he's not old, he's 21 years old. He
might be the fastest white man I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, but you've got another weapon in your armory. We're the Gunners. We've got another weapon in our armory, Soph. When we're loading them cannons, we look at the bench and we've got no more firepower to put in the cannons. If you got a MUDRYK, even for 20 minutes, people are tired. What do you reckon he's going to do to fullbacks with his speed? Exactly, but that's what we want. Game changers to be coming off the bench. That's what we need. Especially when they're tired, we need game changers. So, do you know what? Yeah, I'll tell you, 88 million is a lot of money, Soph. It is a lot of money.
It is. But for a player who's played in a league that is not, but it's the champion. The value's the Champions League, isn't it, Kev?
We've seen him do it in the Champions League, Sophie. So the fact of the matter is, it might be cheap money. It might just be cheap money. Because if you bring him in, we win the title, all of a sudden we've got another weapon. champion, and we're in the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
Massive for us.
Massive for us. All right, Kev. So now we have to face Manchester City 3 times. A lot of questions coming in for you regarding the FA Cup. There's no doubt. Are we going full straight? Because the FA Cup game is going to come before the league game, the first league game on February 15th. So that FA Cup game, correct me if I'm wrong, Squaddies, will be the 29th or the 30th of January. What are you doing in that game, Kev? Because you know Pep's going to play. Whoever he plays is going to be a decent squad.
He can mix it. He can mix it. He can mix it up. He's got 2 teams there, hasn't
he? Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, Soph, I don't think we're going to go as strong as we could.
By that, who's not playing?
Well, the majority, like tonight, because we can't afford to. He can afford to mix and match easy. We can't. But let me tell you this. Do you remember last season when we're talking, we want to be in the mix-up and we're talking about stayed at the roadside motel and we want to be in the Ritz? This is what happens when you're in the Ritz, Soph. You get all these games against the big rivals. That is what, that's the levels now. And that's what being in the Ritz is. Because you have to pay the big bill at the end. Mm-hmm. But this is what it means. This is where you earn your stripes. We were outside of it before, watching Manchester City play Liverpool 3-4 times a season. Oh, that used to be us and Man United. We won it back. Now, FA Cup as well, this is what we want. Let's not run away from it. This is what we want.
It is, but you're not starting Lokonga against City, are you, Kev?
Maybe he might have to, Soph. He might have to. But again, the FA Cup game and the league game, it will not be the same. That's for sure. It will not be the same.
Very different. Very different. So we've got the FA Cup game, we've got the league game on February 15th, and then I can't remember when the second game comes in. Forgive me, Gooners. But those 3 games could define our season. I mean, we've got the North London derby coming up.
Yeah, there's a lot of football. Listen, our next 4 league games,
massive,
huge.
We're going to talk about Tottenham.
Of the top 5, we play 3 of the top 5.
So, Kev, we're not going to see you for the rest of the week. The North London derby this time next week, we'll know if we won or lost. What's going to happen in that one? We haven't beaten Tottenham. We beat them in a League Cup game, I believe, in 2017 at theirs. And we beat them in 2015 in the Premier League. Last few seasons, it's gone them, us. It's like Ali Fraser. What do you see happening this Sunday?
Again, another tough game. We're a lot better than we were. We're in a lot better shape than we were last season when we were there.
Going to them, right, with the players we were missing versus what we have now.
And Soph, if you remember rightly, we started the game really well.
We did.
When you're on top and you don't score, they start coming back into it. And Holding was a bit nervous. He was hell-bent on trying to get close to Son and ended up getting sent off, didn't he? That we're 1-0 down at the time, and that virtually kills the game for us. We end up getting smacked. But I really fancy us on Sunday, so I really do.
To win?
Yep, of course. If I fancy us, I don't fancy us to draw. I fancy us to win. I fancy us to win tight game 2-1.
The last season, that 3-0, I was in a bar in Cyprus. I told you guys, my sister and my brother-in-law, Miss Gut, deliberately sent me to a Tottenham pub, which I had no idea about. Because why would I know about a Tottenham pub in Cyprus? But the meeting pub, or whatever it's called. When I told Anthony Costa, by the way, Blue, he was laughing his head off. He loves you, Kev.
He's a good lad, Anthony.
Yeah,
Good lad.
I'm on Ricky Sachs' show on Thursday, Last Word in Spurs with him and Gianni. But that was brutal, that game. I left after the second goal went in because I knew there was no coming back.
Smart move.
But it feels different this year going into it, even though they won their last game and at home they're going to be the favourites, of course. Of course, Bentancur's coming back. Of course, Kulachevsky's coming back. Of course, all their players are coming back.
Bring them all. Bring them all. We don't see, Soph, we don't want them not to be there, so they have any excuses. See, we don't want them having any excuse.
Do you know sometimes when you ask the squaddies a question, would you take a point right now? Even though you're not taking a point guy, you go into it to win. I'm going to be honest. I would take a point right now against them, a win against City, a win against United at home, and a point against City on February 15th. That would warm the cockles of my Greek heart.
I think we need to win these games, Soph. No messing around. We need to win these games. We want to fulfill what we are destined type of thing. We need 3 points. I don't want no points. I want 3 points.
On it. What's on the... It's Highbury Squad right here. I'm having a bad hair day. I'm cutting my hair before I come to England for the Manchester United game. Kev, does that make me a loser? Am I... Am I a loser for just wanting to... I would... Honestly, on this occasion where we are in the league, I can't deal with it. I don't even know if I
but you're traumatized. But you see, Soph, why won't you go for the win? Why?
Because I would take, if I was in Vegas and someone said...
but answer the question. Why won't you go for the win?
Because the only reason, Kev, and I'm not a stats and data girl, as you know, because I'm shit at maths, but based on the results away from home against them in recent years, I would take the point only because of where we're at in the table. I'd rather have one than the potential of 3, but the potential of losing all of it.
But you can't, you see, so you can't have it all. You'd rather have 1 than go for 3. That to me don't make sense. I'd rather the 3. But I understand
because I think Spurs will beat City.
I listen. Spurs have got a sign over City at the minute. And hey, again, Soph, here's the crazy thing about this league. It's Derby Day. It's Derby weekend because United play City.
United are winning that game.
At Old Trafford.
Telling you right now.
Let me tell you something. That is gonna be that's the biggest derby getting for a long time. And United are at it.
I reckon United win that game. You know, some games you just see and you're like, bosh. I reckon United are winning that game, Kev.
So
forgive me, guys. Just take it easy on me. I'm fragile.
So if United win, don't you think we want to be taking 3 points?
No, I want 3 points.
No, you don't. You know, but you saying you take a point.
I would right now.
But I want 3.
I want 3, but I'll take 1. And Man United are, I'm telling you right now, as we say in Greek, I don't think I should say it just in case Greek people say that's really offensive, but there's a saying in Greek. I mean, they are.
So yeah, it's after the watershed. Come on.
Their golon is this big. All right. There's something about them, Kev. Warren Barton said to me, I asked the question to Warren and Rebecca and John, you saw. I think Newcastle, maybe I was wrong about Liverpool, drop out. Was it Newcastle or Tottenham? Yeah, Newcastle, Tottenham drop out the top 4 and Liverpool and United take those top 4 spaces. United are not finished. This isn't over. Do I have PTSD, Kev? Am I just like trying to be too protective of myself so I don't hurt my soul at the end of the season?
United are playing well. United are doing well. But we're doing better. That's the thing that a lot of people forget. You're doing well, but we're doing better. We're doing the best of everyone. They fear us.
I know, but maybe I fear fear. Do you know what I mean? I just I can't.
No, but Sophie, no, listen. It's been a while since we've been in this position, and you're gonna feel the fear. But you know what they say? Feel the fear and do it anyway.
I was at the Emirates when we beat them 3-1, and it was glorious. Maria was there. It was beautiful. Xhaka scored that goal. That was the day when really everyone was like, we love Xhaka. That was just beautiful. Fernandez missed that penalty. I'm feeling beating them at home. It's just them lot that I'm not feeling it, Kev.
Well, you got to remember, that team last season is nowhere near as good as this team. So, yeah, we've got it all to do, but so have the others. They've got to catch us. And the more we win, the games start to tick down, and hopefully we stretch our lead. Because I want to stretch the lead, Soph. That's what I
do
want.
too. I have faith. I just have fear. And I try not to live my life in fear. I try to live my life being fearless, especially with this man in my life. I don't know. Maybe I'm starting too soon, Kev. Maybe I'm just starting too soon. They're just all telling me to stop. Okay, fine.
No, because you know what? Because you know what you do, so you know when you start saying these things, it gets to people in the end. They don't want to hear it. We're doing good. We don't want to hear it.
Kev, how do you round up? We're in the next round of the FA Cup. We've got the enemy at the weekend. I'll be there for the Manchester United game. Can't wait to be back in London for that. Is there any chance you're working that game? Maybe. We don't know yet.
We're working what one?
Arsenal Man United at the Emirates.
I won't know. I won't know yet. I'm working the Spurs Arsenal on Sunday.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, but not at the game.
Okay. Are you doing that for international television? Yes, yeah. Right. Nice.
So I'll be doing that one. Who knows? I might be on with JB.
Ahara.
I might be on with. He's been having kittens in because Arsenal are doing so good. But let's see. Okay. Man United will find out after. I'll find out after.
Maybe I need to get a Xanax prescription for the rest of the season. It's not negative. It's not negative. Please. It's not it's fear. Is fear negative, Kev?
Of course it is. It's not positive, is it?
I mean, negative is like saying things that are against what you want to see happen. Fear is
but that's exactly it. Negative is saying things against what you want, and you want 3 points, but I'll take a point. That's oh, Sophie, you make me laugh.
Oh my goodness. Okay, 1 hour 9 minutes in, 350 in live chat. We've hit the 200 like mark. Well done, Tammy, you legend. Absolutely brilliant.
Well done, Tammy. Well done.
I love this though. He goes, Jamie O'Hara is clueless. I'm a Spurs supporter. He annoys the hell out of me. Love it. Be a man. I mean, might be half a man. Who knows? Oh, you be a man, Newman. Jesus. Sophie, in my humble but accurate opinion, you need to chill. I'm chilled. I'm just worried. That's all. Stop. Okay, fine.
Football
fine.
fandom.
Fine.
Football
Who knew?
fandom.
This is. Ev, what do you want to leave for the troops? What are your final thoughts summarising the FA Cup, going into these games against Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United?
No, we don't want to go too much. One thing we don't want to do is do too much in front.
I need to just stop myself.
Right.
Bad hair day.
Let's not do too much in front. Let's deal with today and then what's to come. Today, as you know, in the cup, it's all about getting through. We got through comfortably in the end, although the first half was easily forgettable. We had to take a couple of players off to get control of the game. Zinchenko and Xhaka comes on. Everything changes. That just shows you how good these guys are and how strong these guys are in helping us change the games. Now, big one on Sunday. These players know how much it means to the Arsenal fan base to beat Spurs. They know. They also know what it's like to get a turning over after last season at that ground and be well beaten. But we're a different team. We're more together. And there's old scores to settle. Because if you remember rightly, after they turned us over, that broke us. That broke us. And we went into the Newcastle game after that. And Newcastle battered us from the first minute to the last minute. So, I'm sure Mikel Arteta will have the video out. He'll have the newspaper cuttings out. They'll be on the board to get the boys together and say, right, we owe this lot. And we owe it, do you know what? We owe it to ourselves. Because what we want to do, we want to win it all. That's what we want to do. We want to shock the league and win it all. And if we want to win it all, we've got to go to these places and win. Show ourselves, dominate, and win. Newcastle have gone there and won. Other teams have gone there and beat them. We're top of the league. Why can't we go there and beat them? Yeah, they're playing a little better now, but they're not. Spurs ain't great. Let's have it right. They are not great. They've got quality up top. And if you let them, they can hurt you. But we're playing better than them. So, be confident in what we do. And be confident for Sunday. Because you know what? This is a big game to win. That's all I've got to say, Soph.
Bringing out the real one, Kev.
Take a tote, Soph. Take off the bed.
All right, you're going to get to hear from Kev before the big North London derby. It might not be live, but you will get to hear from Super Kev. Don't you worry about it. He'll give you your prediction and his last final thought about the big game. We're going to learn a lot about what comes next. Much love, Super Kev and Soph. Arsenal are the owners. Yep. I hear you all. They're going to run through. They're ready to run through a big brick wall. Kev, you've got them all juiced up.
Yeah, man. It's our time.
Yep.
We're a year older, a year wiser. These youngsters.
Older and a year wiser. Evolution, right? Evolution.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to need all of these lads to bring it on. It is a massive week. North London derby week. I think the gaffer's ready. This guy is going to be ready. We need El Capitan ready. Maybe this kid can come off the bench and make a difference. How about this guy making a mark, Super Kev? This dude, aerial
goals in 4
battles.
games. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Strength and power at the back.
This guy mixing
Control.
it up.
Yep.
Star boy Kev, made for him. This little Brazilian gem, Xhaka, the attacker, Saliba coming back, and I just putting the captain in there again. Benjamin, we're going to need him, and this guy's going to need everything. And of course, behind the scenes, as we're hearing, this guy is around the club. He's in the dressing room. He's geeing up the boys. Oh, let's roll. It's North London Derby week, people. Take us out, Super Kev.
Listen, squaddies, always remember we're a family. The Arsenal family and the squaddies are a family within the family. So we love you. Tell your family you love them. And you know what else, squaddies? Take it easy. Whatever you're going to do, take it easy and be positive. Because you know what? Being positive is free of charge. At ease, squaddies. At ease.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.